First of all, good evening. And I wanted to ask you, hey, Andrea, good evening. Andrea, can you hear me? Andrea?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you? Yes. How are you?
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, can you see me? Oh, you ain't supposed
I
to
can
see
see, I
me,
can see a
right?
picture. I can see a picture. No, if you want to put your video, I actually, usually when I do like one-on-ones or if I do small groups, I tell everybody to turn their video on. So I want to see, I want to see what their facial expressions are, but you don't have to. It's up to you. I like to see that so I can get a better understanding since I'm not there with you. Like I can see if you
Oh,
understand something now, but that's fine. So first of all, let me start off by saying, do you have any questions or anything that we've been working on that you kind of want to go over?
it's funny that this is up because we was working on this in class today.
Okay, so what I have on the screen?
Yeah,
It's
the
not,
y-axis, the x.
so this is an entire review of linear equations. So usually before they take the exam, I usually send this to them to see how well they do. So first of all, find a slope from a line, find a slope from a graph, find a slope from an equation, find a slope from 2 points, find a slope of a parallel line, find a slope of a perpendicular line, sketch the graph of a line, graph it, slope intercept form, standard form, find the equation of a line given a graph. I don't like that they gave you 29 and 32. That's kind of, but it's okay. I don't know what this is. Find the slope, maybe. I don't know. It's standard form, but I don't know what they really want you to do here because I don't see the instructions. But maybe it's change the slope intercept. Find the equation of a line. Here go point slope, slope intercept form. So this is a whole review sheet for almost everything that you possibly could get in terms of reference to linear equations on exam in terms of the computation part. These are not word problems, they're straightforward word problems. So does anybody have any questions or anything they want to go over? So is it something that you had in class today that you didn't understand?
Okay. And on my video. Okay. Oh, okay.
And anybody can ask anybody. If you have any questions or anything you was working on this week and did not understand or had issues with, because that's what
let's see. I think for me it was more so the X's. The Y I was okay with. It was the X.
What do you mean the X? What do you mean?
Like to locate on the X.
Okay, so
the location of the X.
Okay, so you mean you just mean what's the location of a point?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So though that's guaranteed on your exam. Like you can just put money on that. You're going to have the location of the point, and that's probably one of the easiest problems on the exam if I could ever get something open here. I don't know why my system is acting a fool here. Let me try to find something to open it up. My computer's acting up. I'm just gonna open up anything. Matter of fact, I'll just draw something. I'll just draw something. So what's important is you must be familiar with the coordinate plane. So for example, what you have to remember is your x-axis is your horizontal axis. So one of the things you can remember, think of the horizon. The horizon is this way. When you see the sun setting, it's horizontal. The y-axis is your vertical axis. your vertical axis is up and down. So that's the first thing you gotta remember about the coordinate plane. Your x-axis is your horizontal axis, your y-axis is your vertical axis. The second thing you gotta remember is that you gotta think of just like a number line. So if you're on a number line and you're going horizontal, the right side is going to be plus. The left side is going to be minus. So again, that's another important process that you have to understand. Same thing for vertical. Think of a thermometer. If you have 0, when you go up, again, it's positive. If you go below that 0, it is negative. Okay, so one of the things you're going to have to do is identify a point. So I'm just going to put some on here real quick. Let me find a point. Let's do this one right here. And this one right here. So again, the second thing you must understand that each point is an ordered pair. We got to understand that language. Order means in some type of order, whether it's alphabetical order, whether it's from lowest to highest, whether it's from greatest to lowest. Order just means in some type of order. Well, in this case, basically, it's alphabetical. And what that means is your X value is going to go first.
Yeah.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because remember, we said the right side of the graph is positive. On the left side, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Again, the y-axis, as you go up, is positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we go down, it's negative. -2, -3, -4, -5. You have to understand this part of the coordinate plane in order to understand linear equations. So remember, I said X must go first. So all we're doing, we look at a point. If our x-axis, we're going to come down to our x-axis. What is our point on our x-axis?
-4.
-4. So this point will be parentheses, -4, comma, and then what is our y value? We got to come over to our y.
1.
1. So this point will be -4, 1. Again, ordered pair. X is first, Y is second. Pair meaning 2, X and Y. So if we look at this point here, I'm going to change my color to blue a little bit. Again, I want my X first. Oops, let me do the arrow.
Okay.
My X is what?
5.
5. And my Y is what?
-4.
-4. So this point will be 5.
5, -4.
Now this third point is where everybody has the issue. When it's directly on the X or Y axis. But that's one of the easiest things. So for example, again, you're still doing the same thing. My X is what? 3. You're right on the X-axis. My X is 3. So 3, comma, what's my Y? If I come over to my Y, this point
0.
here is 0. So 3, 0. And believe it or not, this is what the weird thing is. This is one of the most missed questions on the GED exam. It's probably the easiest. So what you do is when you're going to coordinate plane, keep saying the vocabulary, an ordered pair. Or ordered X before Y, pair.
Yep.
So X first, then Y. Got me? Okay. So when you look at something like that review sheet that I had, right? Let's go to 2 points real quick. Let me try to find 2 points. Here. Let me make it bigger. So for example, when I'm looking at this, I have 2 points. So again, this is my X, this is my Y. Since this is my first point, I'm gonna call this X1. I'm gonna call this Y1. Okay. Since this is my second point, this is still my X and my Y value. But to differentiate between the 2 points, I'm going to call this X2 and Y2. So when you go to your formula sheet and you're trying to find the slope between 2 points, is M equal Y2 minus Y1,
Mm-hmm.
X2 minus X1. Then it becomes easy because all you're doing is substituting. Y2 is what?
-4. -5.
-5 minus what's Y1?
-4.
What's
I
Y1?
mean 4. I'm sorry.
4. X2 is what?
X2 is -4.
-4 minus what's X1?
X1 is 3.
3. So then, now whether you use the calculator or whether you do it by hand, what I would recommend is learn how to do these problems by hand and then use your calculator. So you have a conceptual understanding of the problem, but the calculator will increase your speed and increase your accuracy. So -9 over -7, 2 negatives make a positive. So the slope of this line will be 9/7. And what that means is for every time I go up 9, I'm going to go over 7. Every time I go up 9, I'm going to go over 7. And that's what the slope is.
That's what the slope, that's the slope, yeah.
Yep. So when you said, okay, we did that in class, let's try to find an equation of a line that they give us. Let me find one real quick, and we're going to do it. And again, everything it's a method to everything. So as you go over these videos, understand step by step what's happening. So here they're asking for the equation of the line. So right when they ask you for the equation of the line, you should be thinking y equal mx plus b.
Yeah.
Okay, that's first. The second thing you should be saying is what do these values stand for? M stands for my slope. My B stands for my y-intercept. The third thing you want to know is, okay, what does that mean? Well, the slope is the steepness of the line. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis.
Yeah.
We just went over that. So again, this is my y, this is my x. So now, okay, so if I want to find an equation of this line, this is what I would tell you to do. First of all, from left to right, what direction is this line going? From left to right. So it's a direction. It's going up. From left to right, it's going up. Because it is going up, you know the slope is positive. So many people who watch my videos will ask my question, well, Mr. Tinsley, my teacher doesn't go over that. My teacher doesn't mention that. The reason why I mention it is because the exam that you're taking is multiple choice. So if you know the answer is positive, you can immediately remove the negative answers.
Yeah.
Right away. So if I don't know how to do it, if I can eliminate 2 of the answers, I at least got a 50-50 chance. That's the first thing. Identify if it's positive and negative. So in this case, our slope is positive. The second thing you want to identify, or the easy thing to identify, is where is it crossing the y-axis? Well, that's easy. Wherever the line crosses. So right here is where this line is crossing the y-axis, which is 2. So right away, you know your y-intercept is +2 or 2. I'm going to put +2. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Put +2. If you want to get in a habit, put +2. So now, how many points do I need to figure out the slope? Well, I just showed you previously. There are many points on the line. There are infinite points on the line. But you need at least 2 to find the slope. So I'm just going to go up this line until I come to a point that corresponds to whole numbers on the x and y axis. For example, this is what I mean. This is a point on this line, but I don't know what that is. Is that 2.5? Is it 2.4? Is it 2.3? I can come down to my x. Is that 0.5? Is it 0.7? So we're not going to use that point. We're going to use a point that corresponds to whole numbers on the x and y axis. We can use this one here. Boom. So now, it's very easy to find the slope. We find the slope from a graph using rise over run. So again, this is giving you your roadmap. It's telling you, if I start with my leftmost point, I got to do my rise first, which is up or down. So if I go up, let me change mine to an arrow. How many do I need to go up to get to my second point? 1. So my rise is 1. I
Mhm.
run. How far do I have to go over?
1.
1. 1 over 1 is 1. So my slope of this line is 1. My y-intercept of this line is +2. So now all I'm doing is plugging these values back into my slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Instead of m, I'm going to put what number?
Y.
Y. Instead of
And
m, I'm going to put what number?
1.
1. So 1x.
X
And
plus
instead of b, I'm going to put what?
+2.
+2. Do I need that 1 in front of the x?
No, you just put
No.
X.
So my equation of this line is y equal x plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be able to do that. Now, are they going to ask you to graph? No, but they will give you graphs on your exam and ask you the equation of this line. So that's why being able to identify if it's positive and negative, being able to identify what the y-intercept is, and then using rise over run, being able to identify what the slope is. So let's go to a harder problem. And then let's go to a harder problem. Let me see if I can find a harder. I had a lot of stuff open. Let's use this one right here. Let's do this one right here. Number 5. Now you might look at this problem and say, oh my God, Mr. Dizzy, I don't know how to do this problem. First thing you got to identify is the form of this linear equation. There are 2 forms. Y equal mx plus b. That's called slope-intercept form. The second form is ax plus by equals c. That's standard form.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first thing you should be able to do is identify what type of linear equation it is. Okay? Now, in this case, this is standard form.
Standard. Yeah.
Ax plus by equals c. It looks exactly like it. So my a is what?
4.
4.
4X. 4.
And my a is what?
4.
4. My b is what?
3. Your B is 3.
My c is what?
It's 3.
It's 3. So I gave you a shortcut. You
Yes,
probably
you
won't
do.
see this in class. You probably won't see people teaching it. But instead of you having to solve for y and go through this 3 to 4 minute process, I gave you an easy way to find a slope. Take the opposite of A and put it over B. That's it. So what you do is when you're doing these problems, you say these things out loud. Take the opposite of A and put it over B. The opposite of A and put it over B. If A is 4, what's the opposite of A?
-4.
-4. What's B?
3. -4. 3.
Negative. So my slope of this line is what?
-4 over 3.
-4 over 3. So you found the slope from this equation. The second thing you're going to do is find the y-intercept. B equals c over b. What's c?
C is 3.
And b is also what?
3.
3. 3 over 3 is what?
1.
1. So now I know my y-intercept. So now we're going backwards. Before we had the graph, right? And we identified the y-intercept. And then from 2 points, we identified the slope. And then we identified the equation of line. Now they gave us the equation of line. Now they got to graph it. So the first thing I'm going to do, what's easy, is what's the y-intercept?
The 1. You got to go to 1.
So where it crosses the y-axis? Easy, at 1. That's the easiest thing, because it's not y, it's called the y-intercept. So this is why vocabulary, and you say, when you're doing these problems, say that terminology out. See, what people, they start getting confused. Well, standard form of linear equation, standard form of quadratic equation, and they start getting confused. Say what it is. This is the standard form of a linear equation. Ax plus by equals c. To find the slope, I take the opposite of A, put it over B. Say the things out, so when you take your test, it's easy.
A over B.
So now, we have our y-intercept, which was +1. We know our slope. Our slope says -4 over 3. The second thing you must understand, and this is very important, and I'm going to show you right now. Let's say the slope is -4/3, right? Right? -4/3 is the same as -4/3 or 4/-3. These are all the same, -4/3. So, but what this tells me is what I remember is that the slope equal rise over run. So if my rise is -4, what direction am I going?
Down.
Down. How many?
4.
4. So I'm going to go down 4. Am I done? No.
No.
The slope is rise over run. So
Now
the
you got
common mistake that people make is that they just go down 4 and think they're done. No. So down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my run is what?
3.
1, 2, 3. Now
Okay.
you have your 2 points. How many points do you need to make a line?
2.
2. That's all you need. Boom. Connect them. That's it. So what you do is when you see, and this is why it's important, and this is another mistake that people make. What happens is when we're going over problems, right? What you should be doing is after this class on Monday, either later tonight or tomorrow morning or sometime tomorrow, is you should revisit it and practice it until you got it down. And then the next thing you should do, especially if you're in class, is explain it to somebody else. Why? Because if you can explain a problem to somebody else for them to understand, that means you understand it. See, the biggest thing is people tend to understand, they remember it for the moment, and then when they move to something else, they forgot it. So this is why it's important for you to practice, to do enough practice problems until you know. When somebody asks you, what's your birthday? You say your birthday right away, right?
Yes.
Because you know it. You don't guess. You don't fumble around. You don't have to think about it because you know it. So each time you do a problem, you should be vocalizing. Like in my math classes, when I had math classes with rooms full of people, I had talking all in my class. Why? Because that's how you get kids. Listen, if I'm writing it, if I'm hearing it, if I'm seeing it, if I'm using all my senses, if I'm speaking it, it's going to make more sense. So you want to do all those things. So while you're going over it, you want to write it. You want to see it. You want to say it. You want to do it. Okay? So now, for example, when I look at this now, when I look at this problem, it doesn't matter what standard form, what the problem is. I don't care what it is. Watch this. I'm going to show you what I mean. If I need to find the slope, I'm thinking opposite of A over B. Opposite of A is +1, B is 2. I'm done. Slope is a half. I'm done. I don't have to put A is -1, B is 2, C is -8. The opposite of 1 is, -1. The opposite of -1 is +1. B is 2. I don't have to do that. I can see it because I know standard form. I can identify standard form right away. It takes me seconds. I can look at it and say, okay, the slope is 3/2. I don't have to work with it because I know this is A. I know this is B. I know this is C. And I've been saying it so much. Opposite of A over B. +3/2, I'm done. Slope is 2. Y-intercept, 6/2. My y-intercept is 3. Let me graph 3. Now, let me change my color.
That's right. That's right.
3. Let me change my color. Let me change my color so you can see it. My y-intercept is 3. Now, I chose this one on purpose because my slope says 3/2. But you have to understand that I can't go up 3. There is no 6 on this graph. So I must understand that +3/2 is the same as -3/2 because 2 negatives make a positive. So in this case, I got to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 2, 1, 2. Now, how do I know this is right? Because from left to right, my line is going up. It's positive. These are the things you must be saying to yourself. Even though it's -3 over -2, my line is going up from left to right. So I know my slope is positive. And what does that mean? Let me show you again. What does the slope mean? Every time I go up 3 and over 2, I'm going to be on this line.
On the same line.
On the same line. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 on this line. If I could go up 3 again, if I could extend this line,
It would be the same.
it still would be the same. Let me try to extend it perfectly. And let me change my color back to blue. Watch this. If I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2, 1, 2. You're still going to be on that line. So if you have a conceptual understanding what slope is, you won't be confused on the exam. And you'll walk through these problems with ease, and it won't cause you the frustration. Okay? So you said that was what you was going over in class. I hope that helped you. So again, watch the videos, watch my YouTube videos. What I would do for each concept that you don't understand is I would work on it till I got it, then move on. Then work on till I got it, then move on. What people are doing, I talked to this young lady over the weekend. She was doing percents, she was doing linear equations, she was doing quadratic equations, but she didn't master any of them. That's a mistake. Work on a subject matter, concept matter till you got it, then move on. Because what you should be noticing is a lot of these concepts are related. Okay, so let's look at this review sheet again. This is another problem. Oops. There's another problem people had on this review sheet: a point and a slope. Again, so let's do some practice first. Let's do some practice first. Since there's 4 people here, right? Let's all do a problem. But these don't work out right. How do they? Let me try. Hold on. 5 over 1, 3 over 2, 3 over 6 over 3. So we're gonna skip 36. I'll do number 36. I'll do number 36 so you see it. It's still easy, but remember the GED is gonna work out to whole numbers or common fractions. So the slope of this, so I recognize this is standard form, which is AX plus BY equals C. Okay, so I recognize my A is 2, my B is 3, my C is 7. The slope is the opposite of A, which is -2 over 3. I'm done. Slope -2/3. Y-intercept is C over B, which is -7 over 3. I'm done. So that didn't work out to a whole number. That's why I did number 36. But again, that's all you would do. So the equation of this line in slope-intercept form will be y equal -2/3 x minus 7/3. These are the same exact equation. In fact, let me put those in red. These are the same exact equation in different forms. That's what causes the confusion. You have to be able to identify a linear equation in different forms. The first form was standard form. The last form is slope-intercept form. So who wants to try number 35? What's the slope of number 35?
I think I tried it.
Tell me what it is.
The slope is -2 over 3.
Perfect. Love it. Who wants to try number 37? What's the slope of number 37?
-4 over 1.
-4 over 1. -4 over 1 reduces to what?
4. -4.
-4. Number 38. What is the slope of number 38?
4 over -3.
Not 4 over -3. Remember, opposite of A.
Oh,
-4 over
-4.
-3.
Yeah,
2 negatives make a what?
positive. So it's 4 over 3.
That's how easy finding the slope from standard form is. That's it. So people think these concepts are so hard, but what you need to do is once you have an understanding is to practice it until you know it. Because a lot of people, when I'm going over it, oh, I understand. I got it. And then when they got to do it themselves, oh, what did he say? What did he do? But it has to start somewhere. Identify what you know. This is standard form. Standard
But
form is
I don't know that. I don't
4
know this way.
So
I
again,
don't know this way. I ain't never even seen this way,
this is
honestly.
why.
So
Let me show you. This is what they give you on your exam. Let me show you. And this is why people had the confusion. This is what I'm trying to show you. This is why people had the confusion. That's why I'm showing you a different way, a much easier way. Let me find it. Here we go, right here. This is the practice sheet given by GED. So most people don't know how to do it. So they're lost because this is what they want you to do. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what they want you to do. 3x
Oh,
plus 4y equal 8. Y equal mx plus b.
they
So I
want
need
you
to
to
get
find the
y
Y.
all by itself. So in order to get y by itself, I need
Minus
to get rid of the minus
3x
3x first.
over there, yep.
3x is canceled. I get 4y equal. Now I'm going to change the order of these two terms. So it looks like y equal mx plus b. So I'm going to put the minus 3x first, and then I'm going to put the plus 8. To get the y by itself, I need to divide by 4. Since these are not like terms, I need to divide both terms by 4.
Yep, all of
The
it, yep.
4's
That's how they
cancel.
want you to do it.
Y equal negative 3/4 x plus 2.
Yep,
What did I
yep.
now let's look at my way. M equal opposite of A minus 3.
Negative 3 over 4.
Done. Y intercept. C over B.
Divided by 8 is
4. 2.
It's
Done.
2. Yep, yep, yep.
So instead of you wasting 2 to 3 minutes trying to solve for Y, I'm trying to be able to show you to identify, is it slope intercept form? Is it standard form? If it's standard form, it's easy. Minus A over B. If it's slope intercept form, it's even easier. Because what is slope intercept form? If I had negative 1/2 x plus 5. Slope intercept form is easy. That's why they call it slope intercept form. Because you can see the slope right away.
Right there,
Slope is
yeah.
minus 1/2. Y intercept is plus 5.
It's 5. Yep.
That's easy. Those are the two forms you need to be familiar with on the GED exam. So and this is why so many adult educators have issues all over the United States, because what they're doing is, and I'm not saying you shouldn't know how to solve for Y. You should be able to solve for Y. But if you're taking 3, 4, 5 minutes to solve a problem, in the GED testing centers only tell you when you have 5 minutes left. What happens if you got 10, 12 problems left with 5 minutes?
You ain't gonna have enough time.
You're gonna be in trouble, and then you're gonna get scared. You'll get anxious, and then your brain is going to be fried, and you're gonna get all flustered, right?
Yep.
But what happens when I look at this problem and I say, "Oh, standard form minus 3 over 4 is my slope. Done. 15 seconds. Next question." Now your self-esteem is building. Your confidence is building. Now you're looking at these problems differently because you know you can do them quickly, because you didn't practice enough on Schoology to know that any problem that I'm going to have in the GED, Mr. Tizzy already prepared me for.
Yes, yes.
Already prepared me for.
And then you could get the
Now,
other answer too.
so it might be, let me see if I can let me see if I can find a word problem fairly quickly. This is the Canadian test, but let me see if I can find a yeah, I was helping somebody over the weekend study for the Canadian exam. I'm trying to find a word problem with linear equation. Let me see if I can find it.
Function problems.
So I got a whole bunch of, matter of fact, I just made a quiz today for functions. Matter of fact, we can go to the study guide. So let me show you the study guide. I don't want you spending a whole lot of time on functions. I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna show you the 3 things for functions that you're gonna have to do. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time on functions. What happens is, most people look at their practice test, you all got functions wrong. Everybody. I don't think I've seen a practice test where they didn't get functions incorrect. Right? Right. So this is the first one. Okay. So the first thing you must remember for functions is only 2 things you need to remember that you're going to have to do for function on the GED exam.
I know that one ain't one.
Evaluate
That's not one.
or valid function.
This
That's
one.
the only two things you're going to have to do. Evaluate or tell us a valid function. For this
Okay.
one, which table represents a function? So you got to validate it. Is it true? Is this function, is this table of functions? All you have to remember, for every X,
It has to be
there's only one Y.
one
Keep
wide.
saying it until it's programmed in your head. For every X, there's only one Y. So in A, I'm gonna call this, let me change my color real quick. I'm gonna call this A, I'm gonna call this B, I'm gonna call this C, I'm gonna call this D. For every X. So in A, how many X's do you have?
You got too many. It's not a function.
No, how many X's do you have?
One.
You have
Two.
2. You
Two
only
of 'em.
have X is 0
That's
Zero
and
and
X
two.
and X is 2.
that's
But remember, for every X, there's only one Y. So when X is 0, how many Y's do I have?
You got
Two.
2.
2. That's not a function.
No, it's not.
For every X, there's only one Y. For my value of X is 5, how many Y's do I have?
Two.
Wait a minute.
For the value when X is 5, how many Y's do I have?
Well, you got 2.
Got two.
2. Not a function.
No.
When X is -2, how many different Y's do I have?
2.
Not a
Two.
function. So what
See,
you have to
the-
remember, let me put it in layman's terms. Your X's can't repeat. You can't have more than one X. That's the
Nope.
same.
Nope. C is the only function.
C is the only function. Hold on, Mr. Tins, you telling me this problem is that easy? Yes. But you have to know the vocabulary. You have to understand what a function is. The definition of a function is that for every input, there's only one output.
Yeah.
So in layman's terms, for every X, there's only one Y.
Mhm.
That's it. You're going to have 1 or 2 of these. Why? Because this table can be shown as points. So you can have 0 - 4,
Mhm.
0, 4, 2, -3, 2, 3. Understand that this table and this set of points are the same thing. Just like you got 4 quarters and 10 dimes, they still equal $1. They're the same exact thing. They're just shown in different ways. The first way is shown as a table. The second way is shown as a set of points. Well, guess what? I can take that set of points and put it on a graph. 0, oops, 0, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
0, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, -3. 2, 3.
Yep.
So they can also show you as a graph. What you have to recognize is that for every X, there's only one Y. So when I look at this graph on X and Y, this is my X axis. When I look when X is 2, I got 2 different Y's, not a function.
Not a function.
Guaranteed on your exam. So if you look at your last exam, look at your last practice exam, and you see the word function on that exam, and you got it wrong, these are the 2 things I need you to remember. You want to get those right. And guess what? Though you might have 2 to 3 problems on functions.
Wow. Okay.
If this is the only 2 things I need to know, it's the only 2 things you need to know. Watch this. Now I'm gonna show you the second part you got to know. Evaluation. Evaluation is another word for substitution.
Yeah.
So a function, you will see the word function. If you don't see the word function, you'll see f of x, g of x, h of x. It doesn't matter what. All this is saying is f depends on what x is. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. Isn't that a linear equation? Yes, it is. So sometimes you can see y equal 2x plus 3. You might see f of x equal 2x plus 3. They're the same thing. The only difference is what makes something a function is for every x, there's only one y. That's it. So when they give you something like this, this is really telling you x is equal to -8. So all this crazy notation, f of x equal x squared minus 3x, find f of -8. This is simple. All it's saying is everywhere you see x, put -8. Now, this is the mistake people make. They put -8 squared. So let me write the whole thing out. Let me change my color. It says f of x equals x squared minus 3x. So what most people do is they do this. -8 squared minus 3 times -8. -8 squared is -64 plus 24 equal -40. That is wrong.
Yeah.
So what do I tell you in the ebook? What do I tell you in class? If you see a negative number, put it in parentheses. So f of x equal x squared minus 3x. X is -8. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to put -8 in parentheses. So -8 squared minus 3 times -8. Now, -8 squared is equal to -8 times -8. Two negatives
So
make
it's a
what?
positive. It's a positive.
64 plus 24 is 88. This is correct now.
Yeah.
This is why on the GED exam, when you have to evaluate an algebraic expression, when you have to evaluate a function, one of the values is always going to be negative because they want to see if you're going to make that mistake. Now, how do you do it on the calculator? Now I'm going to show you the easy way. If you have your calculator, pull it out. Because what I'm about to show you is about to blow your brains out. In a positive way, not in a negative. Watch this. -8 store x. Enter. X squared minus 3x. Done. 15 seconds. 8 seconds. Done. I'm done. I didn't substitute anything. I didn't write anything down. I knew when I'm evaluating the algebraic expression or evaluating the function, I can store those values in my calculator and plug the expression in. It's no work to do.
X, enter. And you go X.
So a lot of times, Andrea, how you pronounce your name? Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea.
Andrea? Okay. So in class sometimes, they didn't show it this easy, did it? They don't show you the slope as this easy.
Yeah, I got it right.
That's what I'm attempting to do. I'm trying to show you the easiest way possible for you to remember. So when you get to the exam, it's easy for you. So what's happening in class is they're going through all this explanation. Half the people in your class understand, the other half don't understand. So now you're stuck on one concept for like 18 days, and it's causing confusion instead of explaining it in a simple manner and going right to practice. So this is why my ebook, after you go over a lesson, I have all those practice problems. So you can use that calculator so you can get
store your values.
with it. Store, I'm telling you, that's one of the most important concepts you need to know on this calculator is be able to store value. Now watch this. Now watch this problem. If I'm doing it by hand, x is -3. So everywhere I see x, I need to put a -3. Remember I said, put it in, if it's a negative, put it in parentheses. +4. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, there is something in parentheses, but there's nothing I can simplify. Do I have exponents? Yes. What is -3 times -3?
+9.
+9. That's the mistake people make. They put -9.
Oh, okay.
So this is why most people do 3 times -9 plus 4. Well, -27 plus 4 is -23. That's why that answer is there, to throw you off. That is wrong. -3 squared is -3 times -3, which is 9. Multiplication comes next. 3 times 9 is 27.
27 plus
Plus
4, yeah.
4 is 31.
Yep.
This is the right answer.
Yep.
Now, again, what I'm trying to explain to you is, if you know how to use this calculator, you don't even need to waste time. You don't even need to, you can, when you see these problems on your exam, you should be able to laugh all the way to the bank, because
Store
you
your
know
value.
how to store value. -3, store x, enter. 3x squared plus 4, done. 15 seconds, I'm done. Now, if you do 5 to 10 problems in 15 to 30 seconds, how are you feeling? You feeling good about passing exam. You're feeling good about yourself. You feel like, okay, yeah, I might have skipped them hard problems, but you know what? When I come back to them, I'm gonna be ready. Why? Because now you're building yourself up. Just imagine if you get 3 or 4 wrong in a row. Now your confidence is shaking. You doubting yourself. You getting anxious. You getting frustrated. You ready to throw the calculator out the window. What I'm telling you to do is learn how to use this calculator. Any difficult problems, skip, flag for review. You can do that up to 14 times. A hard problem. If you think it's going to take you more than 3 minutes on a problem, well, Mr. T, how am I going to know it's going to take me 3 to 4 minutes? Because you did so much practice on Schoology, you know the problems that take you a long amount of time. So now, I'm going to show you, and we're going to practice right now, with and without the calculator. I'm going to open up a quiz I just made today, because I understand that functions are 3 to 4 problems. But let me go over one more word problem. Mr. Tinsley, I understand that, but the GED is going to give us a word problem. And I hate word problems, Mr. Tinsley. I don't know how to do word problems, Mr. Tinsley. No, that's not what you say.
Yeah, learn to love them today.
If you're going to keep saying I hate word problems, what you're doing is you're cutting oxygen off to your brain. Functions shown in different ways. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. You just told us that a function is an equation. You're right. So look at it. So they're giving you this example. One they're giving it to you in words, and one they're giving it to you in equation. You got to identify it. First of all, one website charges $24 per shipping, plus $24 per t-shirt plus $8 shipping. You then have to say, how do I make this a linear equation or linear function? You have to say what is changing and what is not. So if I buy one t-shirt, how much is it going to cost me?
$24.
$24. If I buy 2 t-shirts, how much is it going to charge me? How much is it going to cost me?
$48.
$48. That's changing. That's your variable. So now you know 24x.
Okay.
Because remember, y equal mx plus b. The slope intercept form you should be dreaming about y equal mx plus b. If you're not dreaming about y equal mx plus b, you ain't ready to take your GED yet. That should be coming out your ears, your nose. Listen, why? Because 7 to 10 questions on your GED are going to be related to linear equations. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. I thought we were doing functions. We are. A linear equation can be a linear function. Only thing you got to remember, for every x, there's only one y. That's what makes something a function. So 24x, that's my m. My shipping is not going to change. That's
the constant. That's your constant.
That's your b. So c equal 24. Now, they're not using x. They're not using the variable x. They're using the variable n. So 24n plus is my first linear function or linear equation. They're the same thing. My second equation they give you, c equal 22n plus 12. What do they want to know? This is the cost of printing n t-shirts. So n is the number of t-shirts. How many t-shirts do you have?
10.
So they're telling you n equal 10. So everywhere you see n, I'm going to put 10.
Yep.
Mr. Tinsley,
24 times
how am I
10.
going to use my calculator?
Oh,
Because I don't have the variable in on my calculator. Well, guess
you
what? I'm not going to use n because they told me to use n. I can use any variable I want.
There you go.
So now when I grab my calculator, hold on, let me grab my calculator. Oh, oops, I'm going to have to clear the screen first. Let me save it. Oh, yeah, let me clear the
Okay.
screen so I can put my calculator on the screen. Watch this. Watch what I do. Watch, it's going to be simple. 10 store x. Then my first equation was 24x plus 8. My second equation was 22x plus 10. Now, they want to know what is the difference in the cost. 248 minus 230. 45 seconds. Oops. 248 minus 230. Oops. I must
Okay.
put the wrong thing in. 24x plus 8, 22. Oh, 22n plus 12, not 22n plus 10. 22x plus 12. So let me start over. Let me do it all over so we got it. I'm going to do everything over so you can see it.
Yeah,
See
that's
how
what it
easy
is.
it is. 10 store x. Even though they told us the variables in, because we
Okay.
don't have n on our
Okay.
calculator, we can use any variable. Let's do x. So
Okay.
the first one was 24x plus 8. The second one was 22x plus 12. What's the difference between the two? 248 minus 232. 45 seconds, I'm done. 16. On a question that looked difficult.
Yep.
On a question that looked hard. But identifying what you know and using your calculator, we got our answer 16. Okay, so remember, when you have that linear equation, that linear function, and they want it, they give it to you. So just because y equal mx plus b doesn't mean this variable can't change. That could be n, it could be p. Variable stands for different things. This is the generic variable. But if they're talking about number of t-shirts, n stands for number of t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So they used n. B might stand for boys. G might stand for girls. So let's look at some things. Let's look at some things together. So let's look. So I just made 2 new quizzes up today as we speak. If you were on here Saturday or Sunday, you didn't see these quizzes on Schoology. I just made them up today. I'm making up new questions in quizzes every single day, because if you're using Schoology and using your calculator, when you go to this GED exam, you're gonna be calling me up, Mr. Tinsley, thank you so much. I've been studying, I failed 7 times, 8 times, thank you. Listen, what happened, don't let a 20, 30, 40, don't let a low score dictate what you're going to do. Your goal is to obtain your diploma. If you let a simple test like math shake you, what you gonna do with the rest of your life? Listen, I had water cut off, I had electricity cut off, I lived in a bad neighborhood. So what you gotta understand is life is much harder than studying for a math exam. You just gotta stand still and say, I need this. And I need to sacrifice something for me to have. So watch this. I made up quizzes today. Oh, my screen just went, oh my goodness, my computer. Luckily, I just bought a new one.
I can't hardly hear you.
You can't hear me? Yeah, my computer.
I can't hardly hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
A little, yeah.
So practice an additional practice problem. If you notice, I got pre-G, I got practice GD, fraction, decimal, percent, ratio, proportions, linear equations, first 5, anything you need to practice on, I got right here. But look what I just added. I added another inequalities. I added another quadratic equation, and look at the bottom, functions.
I'm gonna do the functions.
So now, let's look at it. Now they randomly pick these problems, right? Let's look at it. Let me do the preview. And you can take these quizzes up to 5 times until you understand it with and without the calculator. So I would first try to do, so look at this example. Add one number to each column so that it represents a function. Do not repeat an ordered pair that is in the table.
Okay.
So what number should I put as the X value?
You got 6, 3, 8, and 7. 10.
Yeah.
Okay. And what can I put for Y?
You can put any.
You can put anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But what you realize is it can't be a 6 as X because my X's can't repeat. It can't be a 3. It can't be an 8. It can't be a 7. So I could put 9 or 10. It didn't matter as X.
Yeah.
Then I could put anything for Y. This is one of the most commonly missed questions on the exam. It is absolutely the easiest problem, period. But you got to know what to look for. You got to know and hear me say, when you see that word function, for every X, there's only one Y. Or I got to evaluate. That's the only two things I'm going to be doing with a function on this exam. So if I see the word function, I'm either plugging a value in or telling whether it's a valid function or not. So boom, got that question. Let's go to the next one. Look at this one. Are you kidding me, Mr. Tinsley? Look at this problem. It says 3 web page developers offer different plans for the services. The plans are shown in the chart, an equation, and a graph. Each developer charges a one-time consultant fee followed by an hourly rate. Check all that apply. You're never going to have anything this hard on your GED. You're never. But the reason why I put this type of question on the exam, because I want to see if you have conceptual understanding of what a function is. So I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it for you. So I need you to understand. First of all, I have a graph. I have a table.
I have to put my ears in.
I have an equation. So what you have to be able to understand is I need an equation for all 3. So I can compare these all 3 different sources. So first of all, my y-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis, is 30. The next thing I'm going to do, m equal rise over run to find my slope. So I'm going to use this point right there. So my y is 60 minus 30, which is 30. And then 1 minus 0 is 1. So this equation is y equal 30x plus 30. So remember what I told you. The x is the variable that changes. So this means for every hour, I'm charging $30. But my consultant fee, just to show up at your house, I'm charging you $30. Then every hour after that, to do your website, I'm charging $30. You have to know that because the X is variable. That term with that X is variable, it can change. So for 1 hour, I charge $60. Let's check it. Let's check on our graph. If I do 1 hour, 30 times 1 plus 30. 30 plus 30 equals 60. So when X is 1, my Y is 60. When X is 2, my Y is 90. Again, you have to have a conceptual understanding of what a graph is when they give it to you. What's my y-intercept? What's my slope? Can I get the equation on the line? So I know my first equation, y equal 30x plus 30. So developer A charges a $30 consultant fee and $30 per hour. Okay, Mr. Tinsley, the next is a table. How do I do that? Remember, with 2 points, I can figure out the slope. So 195 minus 115. Well, how did you know 195, Mr. Tinsley? Because I know from my formula sheet, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I know when they give me a table, I have points. Here's my 2 points. This is my x, this is my y. So 195 minus 115 over 4 minus 2. So I get was 80 over 2. So my slope is 40. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley, but how do you get the equation on the line? I don't know what the y-intercept is. Remember, to find the y-intercept, you need a slope and a point. You need a slope and a point. So I equal mx plus b. So I'm going to use this point here. So y is 115 equal, my slope is 40. My x is 2. So I'm going to have to move over here. 115 equal 80 plus b. In order to get b by itself, I subtract 80. So again, I'm running out of room. I'm sorry. So I get b equals 35. So the second equation is y equal 40x plus 35. So now I know the term with my x can change. So that means that's my per hour. So that means this second web developer charged $40 per hour, but his consultant fee is 35 bucks. So now look at the third one. That's already an equation. So $20 per hour, but the consultant fee is 100. So I know with my third option, I got to put more money out front, but it's less per hour. So if I needed this consultant to work for more than whatever hours or a lot of hours, I'm going to pick that third one because it might cost me more up front, but he's going to work for less per hour. So, but the question is, look at this. So let me write all three of these down. Again, this might be a lot. Again, check it out though. Look what I gave you. I gave you functions in 3 different ways. In a graph, in a table, and an equation. Guaranteed on your exam. That's why under linear equation, I got comparing different sources. You're going to have 1 or 2 of these guaranteed. So let's put all our equations down. So let me write all the equations on the side. Y equals, hold on, let me clear this out. It's a little convoluted here. So my first equation was y equal 30x plus 30. My second equation was y equal 40x plus 35. My third equation is y equal 20x plus 100. So now they got several questions. And this was A, B, and C. Let me put that down too. This is A, B, C. Developer A's consultant fee is $5 less. So his consultant fee is 30, is 5 less than developer B. That's true. Because developer A was $30 consultant fee, B is 35. So that is $5 less. The developer C's consultant fee is 5 more than A and B. So A and B is 65, 5 more will be 65. That is not true. Developer B's consultant fee is $15 more than developer A's. No, it's only 5. So that's not true. Developer C's hourly rate is more than A and B. That's not true. Because developer C is only $20 per hour. So it's only one of those which is true. And will you have, oh, hello?
Yeah.
I just lost my whole computer.
Oh. We still see your screen. That's
and I can't really hear him.
Oh.
That's all I see is a black screen.
Oh my goodness, it's dark as I don't know what.
So you still see my screen though?
No.
Yeah.
For a moment, then it kind of went black.
Okay, I am totally frozen. I apologize.
Mine is black. I don't see nothing.
It is 7 o'clock anyway.
All right.
Oh man.
6 o'clock over here.
Hold on, it's nothing I can do. I can't even do anything on my keyboard. My whole everything.
Oh, right, 7:06.
Right. All right. So listen. So if you can hear me, that's good. So again, what we did tonight is the equation from a graph, an equation from a graph, equation of a line from a graph, the slope from a graph. We did evaluating the function. If a function is valid or not. We also stored a variable with the calculator. What we did tonight, just tonight, is probably 6 to 7 questions on your exam. So make sure you understand the concepts we did tonight. Just tonight is about 7 questions on your exam. So this is very important. Now, I can't even stop the recording because I can't see anything. So I'm just going to say, everyone have a good night. If you have any questions, send them to me in the email. Send them to my email.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Kennedy, I have a
Pearson.
question real quick. You about to upload this video tonight?
Yeah, I'll upload it tonight. Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Everybody have a good night.
You too.
All right.